You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Sakal Button. Staying with our top story, Hamas's top political boss Ismail Hania's assassination. We are going to discuss the various aspects and the ramifications of it. Remember, with the killings of the two terror chiefs in the capital cities of the two enemy nations of Israel, for that matter, in the past few hours, the other being the top Hezbollah commander, which Israel has admitted of having neutralized in southern Lebanon. So the escalation situation there has thrown some serious concerns, rather few questions. Question number one, has the conflict that began for Israel with the Hamas's invasion and slaughter on October 7th, which were in fact garnered international headlines for many, many months, has that entered the dangerous territory in the Middle East politics? Has this also rather compromised or halted the peace negotiations and the peace talks in Gaza, which are already in a way on a very slow pace, literally crawling? So are those talks, those peace negotiations now going to go back to square one? Is there a halt on it unexpectedly with the assassination of Hamas's political top boss Ismail Hania, which Israel so far hasn't really reacted to the claims made by Hamas? We will be examining the high points of this story with our special guest joining from Israel in Tel Aviv. Yes, we are very happy to be joined by Colonel Professor Gabi Siboni. Colonel Professor Gabi Siboni is joining us from Tel Aviv. He's from the Jerusalem Institute for Security and Strategy, a renowned expert there in Israel. Thank you very much, Colonel, for joining us. Now, first things first. Yes, first things first. Hania's assassination, how do you see this? Do you think this has really threatened the negotiations and also raised a full possibility of the wider war or big churn in the Middle East, the kind of reactions that are coming in from Tehran?
First, I want to bring the bigger picture, because Hamas is, after the atrocities they done on the 7th of October, there is no way we'll be dealing with Hamas. Hamas leaders should die, all of them. We should chase them until the end of time, as the same that we are chasing now the last Nazis of Germany in the Second World War. We will chase them, and Hania is no difference. We brought him to justice, and we will bring to justice all Hamas leaders. Either they surrender or we kill them. That's the only solution.
What is the impact now? Having said that, how do you see the future of the Gaza peace talks or the ceasefire?
I don't know. When you say peace talk, I really don't understand what you mean. Who should we do peace with? With people who slaughtered our women, our children, our pregnant women. There is no peace with those guys. The Israeli government has been determined to destroy Hamas military and political and governing capabilities, and that's what we are doing in Gaza. After we finish this job, we will need to find a solution for Gaza, but mainly a civilian solution, only to take care of the population. The security will have to remain within the hands of the IDF.
Okay, but so far Israeli military has declined to comment. We haven't heard from the Israeli establishment. So what do you make of that?
Well, I don't know if this is foreign press is putting the assassination in the hand of Israel. I don't know who has done it, but the Lebanese assassination was done, and Israel is took responsibility for that.
Yes.
And Israel did not take responsibility for the assassination of Ismail Hania.
Yes.
But as I mentioned, I think all Hamas leaders should watch their back to understand that they are on our target.
Yes, and killing of Hania may strain. Do you see this actually deeply impacting further the Israel-Iran relationship, which we do know has witnessed some calibrated military responses coming from both sides?
We are playing. It's like a game. People think we are in a game. We are in war. Between Israel and Iran is in war. Israel and Lebanon is in war. So we are fighting a war in 7 fronts, all orchestrated by Iran. Iran is an octopus with all its proxies around Israel, surrounding Israel with a ring of fire. And we are fighting with Iran. So this doesn't make any difference for us. We brought Ismail Haniyeh to justice. And they should know that even hopefully, I don't know who did it, but I hope this was Israel.
Okay.
And
Colonel Gabi,
any place in the Middle East, any place in the Middle East is not safe for Hamas leaders.
Okay, so having said that, if you could also explain its far-reaching implications as far as the entire Middle East churn or politics is concerned, because I'm sure you know the kind of reactions that are coming from all sides.
Yes, I know. Well, we don't need the Iranians, nor Hezbollah in Lebanon, or Hamas. They don't need any more motivation to hit Israel. They have done it. The Iranians have launched a huge missile attack on Israel on the 14th of April. More than 300 missiles and cruises and cruise missiles have been launched on Israel. Luckily, not even luck, but professionally, we managed to foil it with the aid of our friends. But the Iranians do not need any more motivation to hit Israel. If they feel they have an opportunity, they will do it. So I'm not concerned about it. They will do whatever they want, and we will do whatever is needed we need to do.
The other aspect,
we cannot tolerate.
Okay.
As your reporter from Tel Aviv, Sarah, I think was her name, mentioned, we cannot tolerate that our civilians are refugees in their own country. We have to remove Hezbollah threat from the north of Israel.
Okay.
And we will do it.
Okay, how do you see its far-reaching implications as far as Iran is concerned? Now, there has been a change of guard there. New administration wants to, even with the Western countries, to ease economic sanctions, understandably. But do you think this attack or this development has complicated their relationship with the rest of the West, particularly, the diplomatic efforts?
I think, on the contrary, it simplified the relations, because the Iranians have to understand. They their strategy leans on two pillars. One is the chain or the ring of fire with all the proxies they have surrounded Israel with. And this is only the beginning, because they are in search for a complete regional hegemony. And the other pillar is their nuclear program and the military nuclear program, that Israel is committed and determined not to allow Iran to be nuclear, because we are sure of this regime, regardless of these elections. The regime in Iran will, once they have the capability, they might decide to use it. So we will not tolerate military nuclear weapons in Iran. And in the end, we'll have to deal with that. We need to convince our friends in Europe, in India as well, and in the US to understand the threat that Iran poses, not only to Israel. This is not a war between Israel and the Palestinians.
Okay.
This is a regional war, and with global implications.
Yeah,
there is a wave of radical Islam barbarism trying to go over Europe and the United States, and maybe even India. So I think Israel is the last fortress trying to stop this wave.
And airstrikes on Haniyeh were also followed by Israeli military action in Beirut on Hezbollah commander, for which Israel has taken responsibility. In fact, they have called it the operation in response to the rocket attack on controlled Golan Heights. But don't you think, Colonel, Israel full offensive...
The attack that killed 12 teenagers,
yes.
Druze teenagers in the Golan Heights. Don't forget that.
Yes, in a soccer ground. Now, Israel going on full offensive might trigger also full-scale retaliation, which may not augur well with the neighboring countries or the entire Middle East, because like you just said, we don't want civilian casualties. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants civilian casualties. Nobody wants more than Israel civilian casualties. We don't want that. And mind you, if we are just putting a small anecdote here, Israel is fighting in Gaza with the less ratio of civilian casualties ever before. You can check my words. The ratio is about 1 to 1, whereas in the United States coalition fighting Raqqa, it was 1 to 10, one terrorist to 10 civilians. So Israel is doing its best. Nobody wants more to have civilian casualties. However, we cannot tolerate both Hamas regime in Gaza. We are on the verge of destroying it, and we cannot tolerate Hezbollah threatening our villages in the north where we lost our sovereignty in the north, and we have to go into the south of Lebanon and to remove Hezbollah from their post in South Lebanon. That will have to be done. That will have to be done. We cannot tolerate
Colonel Gabi, yes. Colonel Gabi, final question. The Qatar says that they have doubts or apprehensions over Israel's intentions or desire of the hostage deals. Your response?
Well, there is no one in Israel that does not want to see our hostages back. But there is a tension between the safety, the safeguard of the hostages, and the conditions Hamas is putting, whereas they want back to become governing Gaza. We will not allow it. We have not only 120 hostages, we have 10 million civilians that we have to take care of. So we have to find the balance, and I think our government and our Prime Minister is trying to find the best balance, so we relieve as much as we can hostages while we keep our victory in Gaza, to make sure that Hamas is no longer ruling Gaza, and Gaza is no longer a threat to Israel.
And there is no civilian bloodshed at the end of the day. I think that somebody has to put stop to that, Colonel. You would agree. Meanwhile, many thanks for joining us and sharing your perspective. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Colonel Gabi, thanks.